Welcome to our ninth Orchard Talk in the series about best practices guidelines for caring for our heritage apricot orchard. The orchard is right next to the Los Altos Heritage Museum, History Museum. And at the museum, we strive to inspire our community to care for our city landmarks. Our topic here is beautification. Our heritage orchard is unique. Nowhere else does a heritage orchard right in the middle of a civic center. It provides an urban green space that's enjoyed by citizens using City Hall, the library, the youth center, the museum, as well as those who are walking back and forth between downtown Los Altos and the neighboring neighborhoods and community center. But it's more than just a park because it invokes stories that provide our community with a sense of space, of place. It is a symbol not only of our rural roots, but also the diverse branches of innovation in modern times. The orchardists, the early orchardists in their day were the innovators of their times. One of the benefits of having an orchard in our civic center is that she puts on a different dress for each season. So during the winter dormancy of the trees, we enjoy the flowers in the cover crop. Then the trees burst into bloom and we enjoy the spring flowers. The thick, cool green leaves of the summer hide the cover crop, or the apricot crop. And then the leaves turn golden, carpeting the soil in the fall. Maintaining the beauty as well as the productivity of this orchard is a year-round effort. So our city orchardist has an eye to promoting the beauty of our orchard, and there's several tools in his tool bag. He plants a cover crop, such as the yellow mustard flowers. He controls the weeds, and he sweeps the sidewalk after operations such as rototilling. Our current orchardist is Phil Deach, and he goes beyond the call of duty to encourage beautification projects. For example, when he needed to install these posts to protect the irrigation elbows, he chose to use a design that invokes the street signs that were used in Los Altos before they were replaced by modern signs. Then he added a modern touch by putting solar lights at the top. He chose words to put on these signs that will stimulate people's curiosity about the stories that are held by the orchard. So I call these speaking posts. And we'll be working with the teen docents at the museum to create a guide, a tour guide guided by each of these speaking posts. Another beautification project suggested by Phil is planting wildflowers to attract pollinators. So one exhibit is one example is the pollinator plot at the back door of the library. This was designed by three of Foothill interns, introducing Katie, Sandy, and Vigi, and their supervisor at Foothill, Frank Nicoli. And he's a guiding light with the Environmental Horticulture and Design program at Foothill College. He's on our Orchard Commons committee, so we look forward to working with Frank's interns in the future. It was indeed heartwarming as a show of support when a dozen volunteers helped to plant this garden. Nikki Hansen in the center here is from Grassroots Ecology, from the nursery where these plants were raised. And she taught us suitable restoration ecology planting techniques that are used by volunteers with grassroots ecology at open space preserves throughout our region. As you can imagine, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. We were delighted to host artists from the Santa Clara Valley Watercolor Society who came to paint scenes in the orchard and the history house. And each saw a different type of beauty reflected in their diverse artistic creations, which you can view on their blog. So within our community, it's a challenge when we're thinking about the aesthetics of beautification. We have diverse cultural views of what a civic center should look like. Some would like to have the wildflowers restored. Others see beauty in the sustainability of regenerative agriculture. And still others would like to see it like a manicured park. So we need to find ways to celebrate this cultural diversity. How can we bring these diverse perspectives to the table in the future? Well, in our Orchard Commons Committee, we have an ongoing discussion about beautification of the orchard. One idea is to establish a beneficial plant guild around the trees. Another top is to encourage landscaping projects that are both attractive and functional, such as a pollinator plot or possibly a demonstration swale garden to reduce the debris runoff into the stormwater drainage system. We're also trying to figure out what it would take to organize a volunteer crew to help tidy up the edges along the walkways. So we want to reach out to interested organizations within our community such that the orchard brings us together in beautification of our shared common space. In the past, this region was known as the Valley of Heart's Delight when the orchard industry was at its peak. I hear stories that of the fields of wildflowers surrounding Mr. Smith's orchard when he first planted it in 1901. Of course, now it's hard to imagine that downtown Los Altos was a field of wildflowers. Others tell of the thousands of tourists that came to the area to picnic amongst the blossoms. It was a destination site on the train from San Francisco. You know, I think learning about the history of our heritage orchard gives us pause to reflect on how beauty is ephemeral and it changes with the times. Our community benefits from a richer sense of place. So I'd like to hear from you. Can you suggest any organizations that we could partner with for beautification projects? Please send me your questions, your suggestions. My name is Jane Packard, and I'm at the Los Altos History Museum. You can reach me by email. It's simple. hello@losaltoshistory.org. Thank you, and I hope to hear from you.